Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're venturing into one of the most haunting places on Earth, the Chernobyl exclusion zone. Picture this: crumbling buildings overtaken by nature, a silent Ferris wheel rusting away, and an eerie stillness that blankets the entire area. It's both fascinating and spine-chilling at the same time. You might know about the catastrophic nuclear disaster that happened here back in 1986, but did you know about the mysterious and terrifying monsters that are said to roam these abandoned lands? Yep, you heard that right. We're diving deep into the theories about the most terrifying Chernobyl monsters. Let's do a quick recap of what went down at Chernobyl. On April 26, 1986, during what was supposed to be a routine safety test, reactor number 4 at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant exploded. It was a disaster of epic proportions, the worst nuclear accident in history. The immediate aftermath was pure chaos. The nearby city of Pripyat, home to about 50,000 people, was evacuated almost overnight. The explosion spewed a massive amount of radioactive material into the atmosphere. This affected not just Ukraine, but large parts of Europe. The environmental impact was catastrophic. Forests turned red and died, wildlife vanished, and the area became a ghost town. But nature has a way of bouncing back. With humans out of the picture, the exclusion zone became a sort of unintended wildlife reserve. And that's where our monster theories begin to take shape. Radiation and its effects on living organisms. So, what happens when living things are exposed to high levels of radiation? Well, radiation can damage DNA, leading to mutations. In plants and animals, this can result in physical deformities or changes in behavior. Sounds like the perfect recipe for mutant creatures, right? While radiation can cause mutations, most of them are harmful to the organism and don't lead to superpowers or monstrous growth. In many cases, radiation-induced mutations can cause sterility, reduced lifespans, or make it harder for the creature to survive. The Black Bird of Chernobyl. In the days leading up to the disaster, workers at the power plant reported seeing a strange, terrifying creature in the skies above the reactor. Described as a large, dark, winged figure with piercing red eyes, it became known as the Black Bird. Some believed it was a supernatural being trying to warn people, while others thought it was a physical manifestation caused by the high levels of radiation. Skeptics argue that stress, fear, and the spread of rumors can lead to mass hysteria and misperceptions. A large bird like a crane could easily be mistaken for something more sinister. Gigantic catfish in the cooling ponds. There are numerous stories and even some videos floating around showing catfish the size of a small boat swimming lazily in the contaminated waters. People have speculated that radiation caused these fish to grow to abnormal sizes. Catfish are known to grow quite large under the right conditions. In environments where they have ample food and few predators, they can reach impressive sizes. The cooling ponds are warm, nutrient-rich, and free from human interference for decades, a perfect catfish paradise. Mutated wolves and other wildlife. Stories tell of wolves larger than any seen before, with unusual fur, glowing eyes, and aggressive behaviors not typical of their species. There's also talk of other mutated animals, boars with massive tusks, and deer with strange antler formations. Studies conducted over the years have shown that wildlife in the exclusion zone is thriving. Without humans around, animal populations have increased, and rare species have made a comeback. The Pripyat River creatures. Fishermen have whispered about strange, unknown creatures lurking beneath the surface. Some claim to have seen fish with multiple heads or glowing scales. Aquatic ecosystems are complex, and radiation can affect the organisms living in them. But creating entirely new species is highly unlikely. Most sightings can be attributed to exaggerations, misidentifications, or simply the brain's response to the creepy environment. A fish caught in the shadowy waters of a notorious disaster zone might seem more menacing than it really is. Insect mutations and swarms. There have been numerous reports of oversized insects, think giant spiders and massive bees, within the exclusion zone. Some visitors have described webs large enough to ensnare small animals. Insects are more resistant to radiation than larger animals, so it's possible for them to survive in contaminated areas. However, significant mutations are rare and often detrimental to the insect. Government experiments and conspiracy theories. Some people believe that deep within the exclusion zone, there are secret government facilities conducting experiments that have led to the creation of horrifying creatures. These theories include everything from genetic manipulation to breeding programs. However, there's no concrete evidence to support these claims. While it's fun to imagine what's hidden, these stories remain speculative and are likely fueled by the general aura of mystery surrounding Chernobyl. The psychological impact of Chernobyl. The exclusion zone is undeniably eerie. The deserted towns, the overgrown forests, the lingering knowledge of invisible radiation, all of this can mess with your mind. The heavy atmosphere and desolation of the area can lead to misinterpretations of sights and sounds. The phenomenon of pareidolia can cause our brains to see faces in clouds or monsters in shadows. Pop culture influence. Movies, books, and video games have depicted Chernobyl as a hotspot for mutants and paranormal activity. Titles like the Stalker game series have popularized the idea of radiation-induced monsters. These portrayals often exaggerate or fictionalize the realities of Chernobyl for entertainment. They influence public perception, creating a feedback loop of stories and beliefs about the area. Scientific investigations and debunking. While there have been instances of mutations in plants and animals, these are typically minor. The real story is about nature's remarkable resilience and adaptability. The absence of humans has allowed wildlife to flourish. Real dangers of the exclusion zone. There are still areas with high radiation levels that can pose serious health risks. The dilapidated structures can be hazardous, and wild animals, while not mutated monsters, can be unpredictable. It's crucial for anyone visiting the area to follow safety guidelines, listen to their guides, and respect the environment. The allure of mystery and the unknown. Chernobyl represents a place where human control was lost, and nature took over in unpredictable ways. The combination of a tragic history and an environment reclaimed by nature creates the perfect setting for myths and legends. These stories allow us to explore our fears, curiosities, and the what-ifs that capture our imagination. They help us make sense of something that's otherwise difficult to comprehend. In the end, the theories about the most terrifying Chernobyl monsters are a mix of science, myth, psychology, and cultural influence. While it's fun to speculate and get a little spooked, it's important to separate fact from fiction. Thanks for sticking with me through this deep dive into the mysteries of Chernobyl. What are your thoughts? Do you think there's any truth to these monster legends, or are they just campfire stories amplified by pop culture? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing your perspectives. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more explorations into the world's most intriguing places. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next video.